What is up, my little cinephiles? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping in. Today, I will be ranking my top 10 most anticipated films of 2026. Wow, I can't believe we're already halfway through January. Ugh. This is going to be like a beginning of the year video, but I'm a little late. Oh well. It's like not many movies have come out, and none in my top 10 have come out yet. So let's get into this. And don't forget, please comment down below in the comment section what your most anticipated films of 2026 are. I would love to have a conversation and get some activity going in the comment section. Talk about movies. Without further ado, let's get into it. In 10th place is Avengers Doomsday, which it could be the Doomsday for the MCU, but who's kidding? It's going to make a lot of money. And I gotta say, I am excited for it, although I'm not that excited. Like, if this was back in 2018 or 2019, this would be number one. Avenger movies were so banging back then. But as of now, the MCU is a pretty hot mess. So far, we really don't know anything about this movie, and the MCU hasn't done anything to build up to this. They had a somewhat of a plan with the multiverse saga with Kang the Conqueror, but then Jonathan Majors got into a whole bunch of trouble, and that kind of scrapped their plans for that. They kind of said, let's redo our entire plan for the Kang Dynasty and just turn it into a Doctor Doom movie and cast Robert Downing Jr., the guy who played Iron Man, and make him Doctor Doom, even though he's not been in any MCU movies. I'm talking about Doctor Doom, that is, aside from the end credits scene of Fantastic Four. That's just a poor setup for this movie. I feel like they're just trying to get as much money. They're trying to get as many people to the theater to see the new Avengers movie, and it's going to work. They're bringing back Captain America for some reason. I don't know if that's going to mess up his entire arc from Endgame. Thor makes sense that he's coming back, but I just hope that they do him right. And by the teaser trailer, it looks like they will. Anything could be better than Thor: Love and Thunder. The X Men are coming back. Clearly, the fans want X Men. The nostalgia worked with Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think mainly Deadpool and Wolverine was why they went to see it. But the X Men also are a pretty big draw. And then you've got returning characters like Spider Man, Fantastic Four, the Wakandans. It looks like it could be a fun movie. The Russo brothers and the writers involved are talented, but I don't know if they can pull this off. With so many cast members, so many characters, it just seems like it's going to be overstuffed, and it feels like they're kind of doing this as a last ditch effort to make a lot of money and make this Avengers movie that they promised everybody to be this big event. But I think narratively it could falter quite a bit. In ninth place is Super Mario Galaxy. Now, this one just looks like a lot of fun. It, by the trailer, looks pretty interesting. However, I don't know if I'm going to understand the references and the Easter eggs quite as much as I did in the first film, because I have played Super Mario Bros. And Mario Kart quite a bit growing up. However, Super Mario Galaxy is not a game I ever really got into. I watched my brother play it a few times, but that's about it. I don't know much about the gameplay, the worlds, but I just know that this looks exciting. It looks like it's going to expand the world and the characters in an interesting, fun way. But mostly the reason this is on my list is because my friends, and especially my one cousin, who is a really big Nintendo and Mario fan, is just hyping me so much for this movie. So I'm excited to see it, especially hopefully with some of those friends and my cousin. It's just going to be a fun time. Other than that, the animation looks absolutely beautiful, and Rosalina looks really beautiful. In eighth place is The Bride. Oh, here comes the bride, here comes the bride, here comes the bride of Frankenstein. Got a little carried away there. Anyway, The Bride is a new romance slash horror movie based on The Bride of Frankenstein, which is really a fun concept. And I think it's kind of funny that we're getting this right after getting Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein in 2025, which I don't think the two films are actually connected due to the fact that they're different directors, different casts, different time periods, and different studios. Well, actually, technically, Warner Brothers is owned by Netflix now, but we'll see what comes of that. Anyway, this has a star-studded cast. It's got Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster, which I'm excited to see that performance. I don't know who Jake Gyllenhaal is playing, but he's in the cast. And then we got Penelope Cruz. But the lead actress herself, the bride of Frankenstein, is played by Jessie Buckley, who I have not seen any of her movies. She's been in a lot of newer art house films lately in like the 2020s, but I haven't seen any of her films. So this will be a cool experience getting to see what she has to offer because she's in a lot of well regarded movies, and this movie looks fantastic. Her performance looks really good, and this could be her breakout hit, both just in terms of recognition and financial. I feel like this could be a huge box office contender. It depends on how well they continue to market it. Warner Brothers has been killing it lately, and let's hope that Netflix doesn't step in and ruin anything. But I'm excited for this one, especially, since Frankenstein was such a great movie from 2025. Once again, they're not really connected, but it kind of got me in the Frankenstein mood. In seventh place is Spider Man Brand New Day. It's Spider Man. That's the only reason it's on this list. In sixth place is The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping. Now, I'm just a pretty solid Hunger Games movie fan. Outside of the Mockingjay films, I think the rest of them are solid A minus to A films. And I'm just excited to see what they're going to do with this one. The trailer looks pretty good. It's got a pretty decent cast. I don't know who they actually have playing Haymitch. I know his name, Joseph, but I don't really know who he is or much of his movies. However, when you look at the females in this cast, you've got McKenna Grace, which she's kind of in everything, but she's great, so who cares? You got Maya Hawke and Ella Fanning. Okay. You've got Ben Wang, who is in a few movies that I've seen. He's a really talented guy. And you've got Ralph Fiennes and Jesse Plemons. You just got a lot of good cast members. You got Glenn Close in this thing. It's just I'm excited. A really good cast, a really good franchise, a really good trailer. I'm in.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind.
I really need to stop singing. Anyway, in fifth place is Michael, which is the new biopic about Michael Jackson, and I am really excited for this one. I've just been enjoying these musical biopics that have been coming out from Hollywood. Some of them are misses, like the Bruce Springsteen movie, but some of them, like the Bob Dylan film and especially the Elvis film, Baz Luhrmann cooked on that one. They've been really good, and the trailer for this one is fire, so I'm excited. Michael Jackson's music is just so catchy. In fourth place is Supergirl. Now, you all, if you watch my channel, know that I'm a pretty big DC fan, so of course I would be excited for this, especially since I really liked the Superman movie that James Gunn directed last year. And Creature Commandos and Peacemaker, they've been solid stuff, so I'm on board with what James Gunn and the other creatives are doing with the new DC universe. And this one, based on what very light clips of the trailer I saw, looks pretty good in the visual department. Millie Alcock in the Supergirl outfit, the costume, just looks fantastic, both at the end of Superman and the new, slightly updated costume for this movie. She just looks the part of Supergirl, and I really liked that little cameo she got at the end of Superman. It was a nice little tease for this movie coming up, and I think she did a good job. It's got that Supergirl sass that I remember from Justice League Unlimited, and I'm interested to see where this goes. They got Jason Momoa coming in as Lobo, which going from Aquaman in the old DC extended universe to now Lobo in this film, they really listened to the fans here, and I'm excited. I just really hope they can land this one from a narrative perspective. I hope they get the characters right. I hope they make them likable while, inherently flawed in their own ways. I hope that this movie doesn't go too goofy, doesn't go too Guardians of the Galaxy, although a little bit of that would be fine. It's a space adventure, but I hope they go a little bit more mature and dark and dive into the psychological aspects of a Supergirl who really lost everything and is now just trying to cope by partying and drinking and then realizing that she needs to take some responsibility for her life. And This might be too soon, but I'm hoping we get to see some Apocalypse. I hope we get to see the female Furies and Supergirl go toe to toe with them. Maybe Darkseid wants to recruit Supergirl into the female Furies. That's how I would go about this. I'm not really someone who's read a lot of comics, so I don't really know, the Woman of Tomorrow or whatever comic they're basing this off of, but I'm just excited to see what they can cook up. In third place is The Social Reckoning, which is, I guess, the sequel to The Social Network, which is such a fantastic movie. The cast in this looks to be all brand new. Even Jesse Eisenberg is not returning, reprising his role as Mark Zuckerberg. We got an all new cast, but that includes Mikey Madison, and she's the first credit, and she's a fantastic actress, so I'm excited for whatever role she has in this. And then you've got Jeremy Allen White, who I've heard was phenomenal in The Bear. I've never actually seen that show, but I heard he was really good. So I'm excited because of the cast, but in the director's chair, although I would have loved to have David Fincher back, Aaron Sorkin, the guy who wrote the first movie, is back not only writing but directing this film. And that first film was such a good, well written movie. The dialogue was so fantastic. I'm excited to see what they pull off with this. Easily one of my most anticipated films. In second place is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And I gotta say, I am so hyped for this. So hyped. Christopher Nolan is really a national treasure. He is an icon of our time and possibly one of, if not the greatest directors in film history. I know that that's a big thing to live up to, but I think he can do it. Christopher Nolan has made some absolute bangers. Inception, the Dark Knight movies, even though Rises wasn't the best, those first two really, really good. He did The Prestige. Interstellar has one of the best endings ever. Oppenheimer, I have such an appreciation for Oppenheimer. It's a fantastic movie, such an artistic work, so well done. I just recently watched a 40-minute video essay on why Oppenheimer was so great. And it was such a good essay, but it also made me appreciate Oppenheimer so much more because, yeah, that movie was phenomenal. It deserved every Oscar that it won. Even if it wasn't my favorite movie of 2023, it was definitely probably the best. Back to the Odyssey, though, I'm really excited to see what Christopher Nolan can do with this story. The grand epic scale of the Odyssey in itself is going to be really cool to see put to the big screen in a modern movie format, especially done by one of the greatest movie directors of all time. There's going to be probably some really massive, intricate, detailed, practical sets and effects. I don't know if he's going to use practical effects for most of the monsters or if it's going to be a lot of CGI, which that's going to be interesting. You'd never know with Christopher Nolan. He likes to do things practically and he really nails it half the time. But I feel like he could dip his toes into a little bit more CGI this time. Who knows? But needless to say, we're going to get a absolutely gorgeous looking film that's probably going to take the story of the Odyssey and expand it. The themes are probably going to be super rich. The characters are going to be engaging, and I'm sure that he's just going to nail it this time. And if he doesn't, then it's definitely going to go down as one of the most disappointing movies of 2026 if it ends up not being one of the best movies, at least of the year. So, what could possibly bump out Christopher Nolan for the top spot? It's Dune Part 3. Talk about one of the most legendary directors of our time. This is another one, Denis Villeneuve. He is a fantastic director. Prisoners, Arrival, you got the Dune movies, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario. He's a really good director. This guy also is one of those hidden gems, and his Dune movies have been absolute cinema, especially Dune Part 2. It is one of my favorite movies of 2024. I'm just so excited to see what we can get with this third one. It's going toe to toe with Avengers Doomsday in December. One of them might decide to move, but as of now, they're both still there. It's going to be such a fun time at the movies that holiday season. I'm just so excited. The Dune movies, Timothy Chalamet is literally the greatest actor. He's just one of the best of all time. He's so good. And Zendaya's in this. The visual effects, the CGI, the practical effects, the cinematography, the coloring, the lighting. These movies are absolute works of art, an absolute experience to see on the big screen. I'm going to probably try and find the biggest screen possible to see this in, maybe even see it in 3D. I don't know. This is going to be the movie that I'm so excited for, and I have to wait all the way till December to see it, but it will be worth it. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. Obviously, there's a lot of other movies coming out and a lot of other movies that I'm really excited for, but these are the main 10 that I'm really excited to go see. Please, like I said, go comment down below what your most anticipated films of the year will be, and I will catch you all on the next video. Bye.